The Black Management Forum has welcomed the decision by the JSE to include transformation as part of its listing requirements. According to the BMF, the disclosure by companies on how they fare as far as race and gender inclusivity will elevate transformation as a business imperative. Joining me now is Mncane Mthunzi, who's president of the Black Management Forum. Mncane, thanks so much for your time today. So you're pleased with this? I understand that you'd made some representations to the JSE.
Yeah, Firstly, we're excited about the outcome, and we'd like to congratulate Mncane King and the leadership of JSE for coming this far. It has been an interactions between the BMF and JSE, and also what we did was to write some opinion pieces and make sure that we're out there publicly to explain why. We leveraged on the fact that JSE already has a gender parity policy.
Yeah.
And then the BMF thought it would be wise for JSE to consider race and include race as part of a listing requirements.
Why is this important?
I think it's important because when you look at the representation of black people in top 40 JSE listed companies has gone backwards. The representation was about 15% in 2012. It's now 9.8% as reported last year. So essential transformation is in reverse gear. And our view has always been that companies take being listed at JSE as a very serious thing.
And a prestigious thing.
It's a prestigious thing, and they will do anything and everything that JSE is suggesting that they should be doing. So if transformation was to be incorporated as part of listing requirements, then we'll start to see some traction as far as change and progress is concerned.
Okay, but this particular listing requirement, it asks them to what? Just disclose? It does not tell them you must have this many people,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, correct. The note that came out is asked them to disclose for now.
Yeah.
However, we're in a period where we're still under submission. I think submission until the 2nd of December.
Yeah.
So what submission that the BMF is going to come up with is that we need to set some targets. Disclosure alone is not enough. And for example, we think that there must be 50% black representation at board level and at executive committee level. JSE at the moment does not include the executive committee levels. But we know that's where it matters the most. It will be easy to see transformation happening at board level when companies can easily find non-executive directors to be part of the board.
Okay, I want to understand yet again is why is it that we don't seem to be able to make the business case to corporate South Africa for why diversity of this nature is actually good for the bottom line?
So we have, and there's been studies after studies, that the more diverse teams, diverse companies, and diverse leadership they always come up with the best outcome as far as the results are concerned. I think we are dealing with a number of things. First, we're dealing with the inherent institutionalized racism that is within corporate South Africa, and we are also dealing with some biases that are out there, and also finally, I think we are dealing with the hangovers of apartheid situation. And companies, basically, they do as they like, as they please, largely because there's no consequences for lack of transformation. And so that's what we need to make sure that unless there is the stick, there are consequences for not transforming. So we will see the situation play itself out year in, year out.
Do we need tougher consequences?
We need more than tougher consequences. Firstly, I think the Department of Labor, through their Directorate of Inspectorate, they must be able to do their job effectively. For example, they told us that there were more than 100 companies that didn't comply as far as submission of employment equity reports are concerned 2 years ago, and they threatened litigation, and nothing happened. 2 years later. So there's no point where you are government, you are in charge, and you don't have control around what needs to... Correct. So that's why we are sectored around JSE, because companies, they disclose themselves. And you look at most companies, they tell us about what they are doing as far as sustainability is concerned, and all those sorts of reports around it. And they are proud about governance and how they are doing on governance. So when you look at the King Codes, for example, companies willingly adopt King Codes, and they go extra mile, and yet those are recommendations. And they don't even question that. And even the United Nations, it does this ESG.
Yes.
So the social part of transformation or change, or that's what most companies, or actually most companies are not incorporating. And transformation is located exactly where social aspect of things that are supposed to be done, and no one is doing it.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Today, Mncane Mthunzi is president of the Black Management Forum.